Good afternoon and welcome to this webinar. Today we're talking about Warehouse Plus for Linnworks. My name is Mark Canty and we're starting at 3:05 on Tuesday, August 23rd. Now, I've been working with Linnworks and with online sellers for about 4 years now, and one thing I've learned is that the modern seller is always thinking about their business. They're always looking for ways to improve it. They're always aware of what they're doing and what should be happening within their business. Now, here at eBusiness Guru, one of the things we look at doing is helping sellers to get the most from their business. And as a Linnworks partner, we look at ways to help them get the most from Linnworks. Now, whether you're in the office, at the desk, in the warehouse, or out on the street, most people are wanting to be up to date with what's going on in the business, and they also want to be able to sort things out that they see a problem with there and then. Now, with Linnworks, it's mostly tied to the PC, so when you're at your desk, or when you have someone at the desk, they can work on it. With the new version, Linnworks.net, it's moved into the browser, so you can move it into tablets, and so you have your laptop and everything else. You can work on Macs, it can work on Linux boxes, but it's not always there with you. What we wanted to do with Warehouse Plus was to give you an option to work with Linnworks, to bring information in, update it, or just to look things up that's always with you, that's in your pocket on your phone. Because a modern phone is a computer. It has a phone, it has a high-res display and touchscreen to control it. So it benefits from tools that are written to work on it, and you benefit from having access to the information you need and to make updates. So, for example, if you're in the warehouse and you want to check that the items have the right value in the inventory, so you don't oversell or undersell, if there's a damaged item or something like that, giving you a tool to work with those changes there and then, rather than having to remember them, or booking stock in without having to have a barcode scanner on a laptop or a tablet, or to tick things off on sheets and then have someone enter it in later on. With Warehouse Plus, what we wanted to do was to bring a number of these tools together and give you the ability to do things now, not later, not when you've had a chance to call someone, not when you get back to your office, but to do things that you would normally do with Linnworks at the time without having to buy specialised hardware. You don't need that. You just need the right application with the hardware you're already paying for. So Warehouse Plus is designed to work with Android and with iOS devices. It gives you the ability to look up information about stock, book stock in, look at orders, create purchase orders and review them. And you can find it anytime, either within the Google Store or the Google Play Store, the iOS App Store, or even in the Linnworks.net application store as well. It's easy to get to. It's a 7-day free trial as well, so you can try it out to make sure it works. And you can just move on from there. If it's working for you, if it's saving you time, why not then move on to a subscription? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at it with you. I'm going to be using a PC-based Android simulator. So it will look broadly the same. It just means that I can webcast it to you and it's up on the big screen. So to start with, when you install Warehouse Plus on your device, you're going to need to create a Warehouse Plus account. That just needs an email address and a password. And then you connect it to your Linnworks account. And that happens after your first login. All you do is you log in with your email address and password for your Linnworks account. It connects to the API and just verifies that Warehouse Plus is allowed to look at your data as you, with your permission, and it gives you access then to all the tools that are built in. So the first screen you're going to see when you start up Warehouse Plus is the dashboard. So there you go. 11 tools, all stacked up there, all easy to get to. And at the top right hand corner, with those little dots there, there's just a little bit of information, so you can change your password, look up what's going on, log out if you want somebody else to log in with a different account. But the main things you're going to be used are right here. So first we're going to have a look at managing stock. Obviously the most important thing for any seller. If you don't have the stock to sell, and you don't have the right amount of stock available to sell, then you can get problems with people buying things that aren't there, customer service concerns and so on. So the theory is that you can check the availability of your stock when you're in the warehouse. You can make sure what's on the shelf matches what's in Linnworks, and you can book stock in. So check product availability. That's what it says on the tin. So we're just going to wait for that to open. Apologies, my session expired. I'm just going to log back in. As a security measure, when you're logged in, after a certain period, I'll ask you to re-log in just to make sure that if you leave your phone laying around, people can't have a look at your information about your products or make changes on your behalf. So we'll just jump in to check product availability. So the camera here is the barcode scanner. It uses the camera on your phone and allows you to just hover it over the product's barcode and look it up. In this case, because the simulator, we don't have a phone attached to it, so I'm just going to look it up by a barcode. So in this case, because it's on one of my test systems, it's not a full-size barcode. So as you can see, it's only returned one result. If I looked for Samsung, for example, you might get multiple. You drill in, and you get full information about the product, including the picture. If you have multiple locations, it will show you what stock levels and what bin rack is set for it. And you obviously have information about the name, the description, the price, etc. Just going to hit the Home tab to go back to the main screen. If you have a delivery turns up and you want to book the stocking for it, then once again, Warehouse Plus is there to help you. Rather than having to have specialised equipment, you can look the item up by scanning the barcode or simply by typing in the name or the SKU for it. Select it from the list if you've got a set of results for it. And you can set which location it's being booked into and what bin rack and how many are coming in. So in this case, I'm going to leave the bin rack alone, but I'm going to book another 10 items in. So yes, I'm sure I want to update that item. It now goes from 180 to 128. Very simple. And you can just go back and scan the next item in and carry on from there. It's just using something you've already got with you to make a standard sort of procedure easier. No specialised hardware, no going to look for wherever someone put things, no waiting for things to charge. Your phone's in your pocket, it's charged up, ready to go. Book the stock in there and then check the items to make sure they're okay. If something's been dropped or damaged, make sure someone's reported it or make the update there and then. Lastly, for this side of things, we're going to look at updating a product. So the product comes in, you've booked the stock in, it has a new packaging, or they've changed the name slightly. Now, you can go back to the office and you can make changes there, but why not pull out your phone, look up the item, and make the adjustment there and then. So I'm just going to look up a new item. Just going to select it to drill down. So as you can see, when it comes in, they've changed the weight because they changed the packaging. If they've even updated the barcode for the item, you can make those changes in here and save them. So you can put it in the right place. It can change the bin rack. If they change supplier, or you change the supplier you get it from, you can update that. If they come in a different pack size, it's little things which can get missed and cause problems later on. You can make the change there and then. Save yourselves time, save problems down the line, clear up. If you have it there with you, or your warehouse manager does, they can make the update to the item, get that in place. It affects everything from there on downwards. The moment you've made that change, it's visible to everyone. It affects any process or any purchase orders or anything else they're working with, and it just makes things less complicated and avoids people getting distracted between the item being brought in and then getting back to their desk. You don't have to take so long to get something updated, and that has to be a pretty good thing, because most people are very busy these days, as you know. I know that we all are here, and all of our customers tend to be. So the thing you can do now is the thing that gets done. The thing that has to be put off for 10 minutes until you get back to your desk may not get done. With Warehouse Plus in your pocket, we can give you the ability to get things done there and then. So if a product comes in that's a new product and you want to be able to book it in, you can use our Create Product feature just to create it initially, so you can get it in with its SKU and its name and basic information. You can put it into the right categories, and then you can book it in with the stock level. And later on you can add in extended properties for listing. You can add the pictures and everything else in. But in the meantime, you can scan the barcode in and just get it present, get it booked in, make it available, and do the basic work for people to hang on to later on. And you can ensure that stock's available a lot quicker, and you don't have piles of new stock piling up on someone's desk, because they can take 5 minutes to put it on the system, and then later on someone can come back and update it. It's a simple thing, but having it there at the time in front of you has to be a good idea, I would have thought. Now, following on from that side of things, we also have our newest tool here, the Quick Inventory Update. So as you can see, with the check product availability, you can look up some products and find the one you need and make an update there and then. With a Quick Inventory Update, the idea is you can look up a group of products quickly by keyword, and you can make a check and update on their available stock level. So for example, if you were looking for iPhone 5 cases, then it would return a bunch of different options. So I'm just going to look for Samsung in this case, and I'm only going to return one product because it's a test database at the moment. But what it does is give you a list of the items, gives you the current level, and you can very quickly make an update here if it turns out it's incorrect. So if you do a quick spot check on a range of items that maybe they're small, they get dropped and lost, you can just keep everything up to date, and you can have the peace of mind doing a spot check every day for a different section or a different set of items, and just move backwards and forwards to double check everything. And your peace of mind is that you can spot where problems are occurring and look into the cause, and you can also ensure that all your stock's online and you don't have to worry about overselling them, because of course every time you oversell there's potentially a defect, and that can affect your seller ratings. Now we're next going to look at purchase ordering. So we have two sections for that here. Obviously purchase ordering is all about bringing in the stock you need. So one option is to go and have a look around on the shop floor, go back to your desk and build up a purchase order. You can also obviously use the tools within Linnworks to generate a recommended order based on minimum stock levels. Now, if you've generated an order and it's still pending, in Warehouse Plus you can call that order up and you can just review it and make some tweaks to it if you need to. So in here, as you can see, it's no difference between pending, open, partially and fully delivered orders. But where an order is still pending, if you go out and you have a look and you decide that actually it needs to have a big order coming in, maybe you've seen that there's a special offer on or something like that, even if you're out and about, you can jump in, you can look up the order, and you can just make an update to it to show that everything's coming in. If you want to create a new order, you can do that up here. So if you just need some items and you know specifically which supplier they're coming from, then you have the ability to create a new purchase order and add in the items that you need, leave it pending or mark it as open. Alternatively, one tool we've built in to make creating purchase orders easier is our dynamic purchase order. The idea here is that instead of having to know which supplier an item's from, you can build a list of products moving around the warehouse that you know you want to get some more items for, just by scanning barcodes or entering the SKUs, and you'll create a list of the items you want to order and how many. What happens at the end of that then, once you've created that list, is that you then create a purchase order from it, but it actually splits that down and gives you a different purchase order for each supplier that you've got in your system that you've ordered something from. So this list becomes 2 or 3 purchase orders, which can then be passed through and emailed across to your suppliers. And rather than having to spend a lot of time sorting out which items from which suppliers, the system can do that for you because it knows. And once that's come in, obviously you've got your book stocking option when they turn up. If any of those items come in with changed packaging, maybe they're on special offers, there's nothing to stop you making a change with the tools I've already shown you. And it just, lots of little bits and pieces that improve the speed that you can do things with, avoid mistakes because things are left for later or they're communicated by the phone, and it just gives you lots of extra options. Tied into that, if you're moving around, we have a low stock tool. Now that gives you the ability to bring up a list of items that the system thinks meet criteria. So usually, so in this case by stock level, you can look for things that are lower than 5. Say for you, anything less than 5 is something you want to be reordering. So you can check to see if it's true, so you can do a regular sort of spot check to make sure that everything's being tracked properly. And you can look those items up, go and find them in the warehouse, make sure it's the right item, and update the available level. But also, because this tracks their bin rack, if you have an item that's sold very well, but it's taking up a big spot on one of your racks, but you've only got 2 or 3 left, with this tool what you can then do is you can move it on the fly there and then, change the bin rack for it and save that, and then move something that needs that space in, maybe from your overflow storage, and you can use it to tidy up the warehouse. So not only are you looking for items and double check their levels, but you're also able to look for smaller items, move them into areas that fit better, and use the space in your warehouse so that people are able to pick first time for all their orders, and they don't have to check into your overflow if you get big deliveries in, for example. So it just is another way of saving time for your guys when they're doing their standard procedures. It's a good tool for warehouse management to keep track of things, so that you can, as a business person, save all those little bits of time, make life easier for your staff so that they're getting more things done with the time you're paying for, and you have less worries because you have these tools to go out, double check things, to change things there and then. It gives you peace of mind as you're moving around the warehouse and checking things. So the last couple of tools we've got in place here come down to orders and customers. If you're out and about and you've taken on a new customer because you have customers that order directly from you, say trade customers, or you have customers that order in volume over the phone, Linnworks keeps track of the customers that have already placed orders so that people can do a lookup on them. So if I do create a new order here, you're working with a customer or you're talking to them, you're not near the computer, but they want to make an order there and then for you to ship out because you've mentioned the new product you've got in. On your PC, that's obviously a manual order there and then, a direct order. With your tablet or your phone, while you're talking to them, you can get that order in place there and then. You don't need anybody else to create it for you. You can just do it there and then. It's present in Linnworks once it's completed, and it just goes in for picking and packing there and then. It could be with them the next day. So you set up all your options. It's a paid order because it's on account, for example. This particular customer doesn't currently have a valid email address. Let's just use our app's address for this one. That email address can be used if you have any questions about our applications. We have a number of other apps on top of Warehouse Plus. So I'm just going to add a couple of items in here. Incidentally, we'll shortly be having a question and answer section. There's a question section on the webinar client, so you can type questions in there. So, as you can see, they want the Samsung Gear VR, so we'll add 2 of those for their order. We'll also add them a bit of personal storage as well. So move on to the next stage. Now we just confirm the items are in there, confirm they're at the right price. If we need to remove anything, we can. And we create the order, at which point this order is now present in Linnworks. So anyone who's now doing picking and packing has the ability to add that in and send it out the door. You may not even be back in the office that day, but your customer will get that item as soon as it can be dispatched to them. Similarly, if you pick up a new customer and you want people to be able to look them up, normally it gets it from an order, so you have to create an order to get those details. In this case, what we've given you is the ability to add a new customer into that database to be looked up as soon as you have their details. So if someone's emailed you, or you're out at a trade show and you've met someone that's going to be placing an order later on, by entering their details and double checking now, when your staff get the phone call and they add it all in, you can be sure there's not going to be any spelling mistakes or errors, and it just simplifies things for you. Saves time, it avoids mistakes, it improves the customer experience as well, because they feel that you know them and you recognise them, and that your staff are aware of who they are, and it just reassures people. So as you can see, as a tool, it has a lot of small tools built in that work throughout the process and throughout your interaction with your stock and your customers to make life simpler. Now, as a company, we're constantly developing and improving these products, and one of the best things we have is feedback from you. We have a product manager here, Adrian, who's always happy to hear from people and their experiences with our products. As a company, we pride ourselves on reacting to feedback to improve our product tools. As I said, the quick inventory update is a very recent addition to this tool. We've still got room for more. We're constantly updating it, as well as bringing out new apps. So what I'd encourage you to do is to realise that this can help you to get more out of Linnworks. With over 4,000 businesses across the world already using Linnworks to improve things, something like this, something like Warehouse Plus, gives you the ability to get even more out of the investment you've already placed, and to improve the way you use it so that there's even less details lost between the cracks. Things don't need to be repeated later on. There's no slips of paper or notes for things for people to work on later on. It's all done at the time, and if it's done there and then, you have the knowledge that it's not going to get missed or done incorrectly. You have the tool to do so there and then. So don't forget that you can download this and try it for free for 7 days. And once you go live, the subscription is only $9.99 a month for it. Now, if you have any questions, then what I'd be really happy to do is to answer those for you. So what I'm going to do is just move forward to the Q&A section. And there will be a recording of this available later on, if you'd like to review anything I've covered. So did anyone have any questions? There should be a question section in your webinar app where you can type anything that you want to go over. Obviously, there don't seem to be an awful lot of questions here. I'm hoping that means I've done a good job and covered all the questions you have. Are there any features that you might like to see maybe coming in the future for Warehouse Plus that we could maybe look at together? Okay, Mustafa. So yes, you can scan the barcode by using your camera. That's what the little camera button is for. So effectively, if you have the product in front of you, when you bring up the screen, check product availability, for example, or is it here? So I can't show you on here because I don't have a camera built into the simulator. That's why I've been typing in the details. But if I just show you quickly by hitting that button there, what you will see is that, and then you'd see the camera behind it. So you push the pulsing red line across the barcode, and it reads that for you and turns that into the barcode and searches for it. And when it comes down to changing the stock level, it's an overwrite. It doesn't add, it overwrites the level. So that's why it shows the quantity, and then it has the new quantity next to it. For example. Did anybody else have any other questions? So when you're asking about quantity update, Mustafa, I'm assuming you're referring to this section here with the quick inventory update. So you can see the current level. When you update the level and you hit the update button, it overwrites and replaces that level with this level. Did Bill or Divyesh or any of the other attendees have any questions? Okay, so if we've run out of questions, then what I'll do is I will bring the webinar to an end. Oh, so I've got a new one from Mustafa. So stock in adds to, yes. So when you're booking stock in, that's bringing in a new set of stock. So that's additive. Whereas the other sections, they're all overwriting because you're doing a count of what is in the inventory based on what's on the shelf. I'll just jump into this item here. So yeah, you're selecting the location and the bin rack it's going to, and the quantity. So as you can see, it's 118 at the moment. If I bring 10 in, then you'll see the record update. I'm going to look it up again. The stock level is now 128. So if there's no more questions, then thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and I hope you've enjoyed the webinar and learned plenty, and I'm sure myself and my colleagues look forward to seeing you trying out and hopefully subscribing to Warehouse Plus, because we're hoping it can bring an awful lot to your business. Thank you very much and have a great day, and I hope to talk to you soon.